Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming, and I welcome you officially to this second webinar from CORE, from this special cycle of CORE. And yes, we're really excited for the program of today. We really hope that so far you start to get comfortable in your groups and we're able to have very meaningful conversations and who knows, maybe learning something new about Heavenly Parents' vision for sexuality and marriage. And of course, also, we hope that you're having fun because that's, of course, also part of the program in High Noon. And yes, I really hope that this week was good for you. And again, I also invite all the good spiritual world to join us today and also our Heavenly Parent. And to do that, I will start this webinar with a prayer. So please join me in a prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, dear true parents, thank you so much for this day, and thank you that all of us, as your children, can unite, even if we're in all different parts of the world, and really be connected to our heart, and also continue with this commitment that we did with CORE to learn about the blessing, learn about your vision for marriage, Heavenly Parent. And all of us are in different stages of our life, and sometimes it feels like a hard path. But I really pray that through this commitment that we're doing, through this hard work that we're introducing in our daily life, we're really able to achieve a lot of blessing for you from you, Heavenly Parent, and also feel hopeful, especially in these hard times for our community. And for this, I also want to express my deep gratitude, not only for the people who are, despite all these difficulties, are coming here and devoting themselves and really putting themselves and having the courage to still step forward, Heavenly Parent, but also for all the staff from CORE that is putting so much effort. And I really pray that you can work through them and reach all of us, your children, through them, through these figures, through these older brothers and sisters. They're really putting their life and really giving all of us this unconditional love, which is physical, and that we also know that you really would like to give us directly. And sometimes it's hard to really be able to connect. So because of this, I'm really grateful, Heavenly Parent, that you create this space for us. And so I invite you again so you can really be the master, the true master of this webinar, and you can be present and through the speakers, through also the participants, that they can receive and hear your voice and learn something new and feel connected to you, Heavenly Parent. And please take us True Mother, and I pray that all this difficult situation in Korea can be resolved, not how we want, but how you want, Heavenly Parent. And in attendance of Holy Mother Han, I offer this prayer in my name, Nauzika Chinikazi, from her Blessed Center family, Ju. Okay, thank you for joining me in this prayer. And today I am a lonely MC because David is busy with Carve in England. So I'm also really proud of him, and I'm not sad at all to be alone because I know he's working as hard for the second generation in England. So, but I still hope that I can create the same joyful atmosphere that David was always able to give to you. And so, before we jump into the serious things, we have an announcement because we have the winner of the meme competitions of this week. So I will ask Robert to please share the meme who won for this week. And so this is the first place of this week. Me when I get red hearts reaction to my message into the discussion chat. I have to be honest though, for us judges, it was really hard to decide who was the winner of this week. But because of that, we had a really, really close call. And I also want to show the second place of this week, which is me putting the prayer emoji and the accountability chat from praying before each meal. It ain't much, but is an honest work. So thank you so much for all of you that prepare these memes and also for doing for your team because I remind you every time there's a winner of the week, the team is gonna get points that then they're gonna add up for the final prize. So make sure to keep making memes and making us laugh because the more you make us laugh, the more your team gets points. And yes, after this, I would like to welcome our main speakers of today, which is Araceli and David, that they're gonna give us a talk about sexual purity. So let us welcome them with a virtual applause.
Everybody.
Hey.
I'm David Hirano, and 31 years old. We were blessed in 2023. I have now a father of Lizzie, Elizabeth,
She
and
was born in 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Yeah. And yeah, this is Araceli.
Marzeli. I work in High Noon as a program coordinator and yeah, recently gave birth. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, we're living here in Argentina at the moment.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah,
And without further ado,
yeah.
jump into the talk. So first of all, thank you all for being here. And yeah, basically today we wanted to share a very personal part of our journey, how healing our past mistakes and scars supported us in building a healthy marriage and a heavenly intimacy experience. So this is our story, and we hope that gives you insights and courage for your own journey. Before we start, before starting our journey, we just wanted to refresh the concept of sexual integrity. So, what is sexual integrity? Um, It's the alignment of our actions to our ideals. In this case, our thoughts, actions, beliefs, and values around sexuality. So we're all working to become radiant couples, but before a couple, we are single individuals that can develop a healthy and heavenly relationship with our own sexuality. So that is to say, becoming men and women that have pure hearts and minds and are actively growing to unite with one another that uses their sexual energy for creation and connection.
So yes, we're all working towards that ideal, right? But nobody is perfect, and we live in this world um, where we unfortunately get to experience our sexuality probably in a negative way before we even know it, before we are even aware of it, right? Through music, social media, TV shows, those things shape our concepts around sexuality, right? And even porn, masturbation, and all the things that come even without us wanting them, that turn into bad, unwanted sexual habits, right? And so nobody's perfect. And even if we didn't have this experience of going through of having these unwanted sexual habits, we still get influence from the world that we live in, right? So before we met, before we started talking, David and I, before our matching process, we both went through our own individual sexual integrity recovery process. And we faced our habits, our patterns, our shame, and beliefs around sexuality that weren't aligned with God's ideal and that were an obstacle for our connection within ourselves to our own sexuality in a healthy way. So we needed to develop a lot of and train a lot of honesty, accountability, and grace. Um, and this effort and this practicing of developing sexual integrity became a really great foundation for everything that came after.
Yeah, and during our communication process, we were able to talk openly about our struggles, our past, and the growth that we were going through. And then we were able to accept each other with our eyes wide open, fully aware of who we were, what we had overcome, and what still needs work. So this allowed us to become really close with each other, and we were able to be vulnerable with each other and, felt safe to hold each other accountable.
Especially that last one,
Yeah.
to help each other grow, right? So once we were matched, we continued supporting each other's growth. We continue to build the type of relationship that we wanted to have in terms of our closeness, intimacy, and vulnerability. And then we received the blessing, right? Before receiving the blessing, we did a bunch of conditions together and a lot of conversations, heart-to-heart conversations about the ideal that we had for our sexuality, for our intimacy as a couple, right? What is it that we really want to do as blessed couples? And so you probably have read a Core of the Universe book or even True Parents Words. What is that ideal that God has for us as a couple, right? And so continuing our practice of sexual integrity as individuals, but now as a couple, which means that we are not only working, to keep our loyalty to one another, being faithful, but also that we want to experience that ideal of heavenly intimacy, absolute sex, in the words of True Parents. But understanding something on an intellectual, conceptual level is very different to actually going through it, experiencing it, and feeling it, right? So even though we had done our own process of individual journey of sexual recovery, of sexual integrity, as a couple, it was a very different thing, right? And as we began our experience of intimacy within our couple, a new level of growth and awareness began, where we were able to see things in each other that we couldn't have done by ourselves, right? And based on that previous foundation, we were able to face these challenges together. So we realized as we were getting close and having that intimacy, in my case, we realized that I wasn't fully present in the experience because I had a very negative perception of male sexuality. And that didn't let me see that his sexuality was a gift and was a part of God, right? So I couldn't see God in our experience.
Yeah, in my case, I had a very transactional understanding of sexuality, and that affected my ability to fully give and love unconditionally. So you can imagine that, right? And only through these things, and only through these things coming up in our relationship, in our experience and our intimacy, we're able to perceive these things, right? And then heal them together. And then that brought us even together, even closer. That brought us even closer.
Yeah. We actually did the couples program in High Noon, the Radiant program, as we were experiencing these things, and it really helped us.
Yeah.
And we had to read Core of the Universe again, actually.
Yeah.
But having read that while we were experiencing our intimacy was different than before when we were just matched and we were living in different places, right? So we were able to talk very openly and honestly about these perceptions, these negative perceptions that were coming up, and that allowed us to help each other grow. So I was able to eventually learn how to feel and see God in our intimacy, and see sexuality as a gift, and not something dirty or dangerous.
Yeah. And then, on my end, I was learning how to practice more the unconditional love and what really means to live for the sake of my spouse, especially in intimacy. And then together we healed those deeper layers and built the intimacy we had envisioned for both of us.
So, meaning, right, that what we wanted, which was to fully unite, right, between the union between a man and woman and God, we wanted that ideal, right? So we wanted that our actions really align with that ideal, that we were able to feel God. And so we really worked on that together. We were really we had very honest and hard conversations, where we needed to say, this is how I'm feeling, this is something that I'm perceiving, and how can we do better, right? And we couldn't have done that if we hadn't gone through our own individual journeys of sexual integrity, recovery, and development before as singles, right? Being able to talk about these things honestly without hurting each other, right? Being able to hold each other accountable and show grace and patience. Those are really important things so that our relationship can still continue to develop as we learn how to do this together. So what we want to highlight, since it's something that became very clear in our journey, right? That working on sexual integrity as individuals is essential, but it can only take you so far, right? As single people, we learn self-control, honesty, responsibility, to be pure in our thoughts, in our actions, right? And all of that is a great foundation. But individual sexual integrity is still limited, right? You can only work on the things that you do by yourself before the blessing. So once you get the blessing, you're able to experience your sexuality relationally within your couple, right? And so the things that you worked on before as an individual will come up again, but now as a couple, because what you do, what you feel, what you think will now affect you and your couple, right? And so there's a saying, right, that whatever you don't work on before your blessing, before your relationship, will come up in bed. And that is very true. And so these things that we even had worked on individually, we're going to come up again as a couple so that we could heal them together, right? So these past experiences, past habits, past shame, even all these things we needed to process again, but now together as a couple. So yeah, this ideal of heavenly intimacy, which is that a man and a woman unite with God through their heavenly intimacy experience, can only happen without shadows in the middle, right, in the way. So these past mistakes, past beliefs, all fears, whatever is there, will become a shadow that will become an obstacle for that true union to really happen. So yeah, that's what we wanted to leave you with. Working on your sexual integrity is really important individually, but then you have to continue as a couple so that you can truly develop God's ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is pretty much it.
Yeah, that's the main point that we wanted to share today. Well said.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank
We are
Thank
open to
you.
questions now.
Yeah, thank you. So that was really wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And you definitely have more experience than many of us here. And yeah, I really like the point that you said, right? That we always think that once we reached the level that we were working for, then everything is fine. But we learned from also our true parents that it's continuous journey is a life. You know, purity is a lifetime journey. And yeah, so thank you very much for stressing that. And before we move on, I would like to ask the participants if there's any question. If so, just feel free to open your mic, or you can also type it in the chat. Maybe I'll wait like one or
I
two
have a
minutes.
I have a question. Um, can you hear me?
Yes?
Yes, okay. First of all, thank you so much. It was great. I loved it. You are
Thank you.
beautiful. And so I have a question about you mentioned having a healthier relationship with your sexuality as a single. So what does
Mhm.
that mean exactly? Yeah, what does that mean?
That's a good question.
Invisible.
Yeah. Well, right now, I mean, I'm gonna talk about mostly in general, right? We think about our sexuality as a very negative thing, right? Because what we are taught usually is if we experience our sexuality before the right time, before the blessing, we're gonna, the fall, right, happens. And so there's a very negative connotation to sexuality, right? That usually hinders your relationship with your sexuality. So your sexuality gives you your identity as a woman, right? So you can think about it in that um, sense of like my sexuality is what makes me a woman, right? So understanding what is the purpose of sexuality, it's not just for the pleasure, right? There is a ideal that God created, right? And so understanding what is that purpose for sexuality, what is that ideal for sexuality, and developing a relationship with it where you can think of your sexuality in a positive way because it's part of you, where you can understand how to use it as a single person first and then eventually as a couple, right? And so we say sexuality is energy, right? Creative energy. So right now you can use it as a single individual for creative energy, right? And you can still work on your sexuality in terms of the values that you have and, you know, your thoughts around it. All these things are part of the relationship that you have with your own sexuality, right? So I hope that answers the question, but that is what, yeah, that's the way I see it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I say woman, but also for the men. Think about it in your relationship with your own identity, right, as males.
Yeah,
And
but for women it's very complex, like you were sharing before. It's kind of like the invisible
it's
aspect.
it's its own topic.
Its own topic,
We
yeah.
can have a workshop around that eventually. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, actually. I will say,
Mhm.
I would talk to David. I think that would definitely have a lot of sisters.
For sure.
Yeah, because it's not really talked about that often,
Mhm.
right? So I think it would be a lot of good content.
Yeah.
Okay, any other question from the participants? Okay, in that case, really grateful. Thank you so much, David and Araceli. That was
Thank you.
Thank you all.
really
Thank you guys.
meaningful talk. And yes, so we're gonna go to the next step, which is the activity, what I'm very excited to share with you. Because the activity of today, it's called Conversation with My Child Self. And in order to do that, instead of having the typical, oh, write a letter to something or someone, we decided that we will guide meditation in the beginning. And so for that, I'll ask you, to check if you're in a clean environment to do this. If, the door is open, maybe you can close it. And if you need like better headphones, this is the moment. Also, if you're maybe holding the device that you're, maybe, find a place where you can place it down so you can be free with your body. And for that, then I will ask some background music to Robert. And when you're ready, we're gonna have the meditation. Take a moment to settle into a comfortable position. Allow your body to shift and to adjust. Try to find the posture that feels most supportive for you in this moment. Let your hands rest gently on your lap, by your sides, wherever they naturally fall. Soften your gaze, and when you're ready, allow your eyes to close slowly if they're still open. Feel the steady presence of the chair behind you. Notice the support beneath you, strong, reliable, holding your weight with ease. Allow yourself to sink a little deeper into that support. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it softly for a moment. And exhale with a long, smooth breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Allow your shoulders to release, gently dropping away from your ears. Feel the muscles along the sides of your neck loosen and lengthen. Take another slow breath in, noticing the space opening across your chest. And as you exhale, feel the muscles of your face relaxing. The tiny muscles around your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, even your tongue resting softly in your mouth. With your next inhale, imagine a gentle beam of light descending from the sky, entering through the crown of your head. As you exhale, feel the light travel down your spine and then flow outward from the lowest part of your back, returning upward towards the sky. Inhale, the light enters from above and flows to your spine. Exhale, the light flows gracefully back to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to sense the same light filling your entire body. As it passes through your body, you become relaxed and warm. The light goes from the top of your head, flowing over your face, your neck, to your chest and shoulders, drifting along your arms, into the palms of your hands, through each one of your fingers. From your chest, the light continues downward into your abdomen, your lower back, your hips, and then your thighs, your legs, all the way into your feet, feeling even the smallest toes. Your whole body now glows softly with this warm, radiant light. A steady connection between you and the sky above. Now, imagine yourself standing inside a room. As your awareness adjusts, you realize it's your childhood room. A sense of familiarity rises within you, comforting, warm, like returning to a place that has always belonged to you. A true inner home. You look towards the bed. The sheets are exactly the ones that you remember, clean and neatly arranged. Resting by the pillow is your favorite childhood stuffed toy, waiting quietly for bedtime. Feel the memories attached to it. On the floor, beneath the window, you see more of your favorite toys from childhood. They're just as you left them after a long play session, each one holding a small piece of the past. As your eyes pass over them, a gentle wave of nostalgia settles in. Now you look at your desk. You notice a notebook with your favorite childhood cartoon character on the cover. Beside it, drawings you once made, expressions of your younger self, still vivid when you were full of imagination and hope. Close to the chair, you notice one of your favorite childhood chocolate snacks. The memory of its taste rises on your tongue, warm and familiar. As you take in the room, notice a soft sound, gentle footsteps approaching from the other side of the bedroom door. They grow closer, steady, unhurried, as though guided by a quiet knowing. The footsteps pause, the doorknob turns slowly, and the door opens with a soft, effortless ease. Standing in the doorway is your younger self. take a moment to observe them. Notice the expression on their face, the way they hold their shoulders, the familiar way they take in the world around them. Your younger self looks up to you, eyes slightly wide, shining with recognition and wonder. They know who you are, not just the adult standing before them, but the future version of themselves, the one they once imagined, hoped for, and dreamed about. They study you for a moment, taking in your presence. Allow the compassion within you to rise naturally. Warm, steady, genuine. Your younger self begins to walk towards you with absolute trust, as though something deep within them already knows you are here to offer safety, understanding, and love. There are things you long wish you could say, and now, here in this peaceful space, you can. Gently, lovingly, you speak. It's not your fault. Let the words resonate. Again, with even more confidence. It's not your fault. You extend your present towards them, open and welcoming. Your child self closes the distance between you and wraps their small arms around you in a warm, earnest embrace. You hold them in return, steady and supportive. And in this closeness, you sense the questions they're carrying. Are you taking care of me? What are you doing with the body we share? Are you gentle with it? And what about my heart? Are you taking care of it? Are you protecting it? You welcome these questions, letting them in completely. The light that filled your body earlier begins to expand again, this time radiating from both of you. It flows through your heart, through your hands, through every part of you that is held in this embrace. The room brightens as the light expands, filling every corner until the objects, the walls, the memories gently dissolve, becoming soft, warm, comforting brightness. And then slowly, the light fades into a gentle darkness. A darkness that feels peaceful, safe, and deeply relaxing. you rest here for a moment, held in warmth, held in love, fully connected with your inner child. Breathe in, breathe out. Allow the sense of unity to settle into your heart. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the gentle rise of your chest as you inhale, and the soft release as you exhale. Notice the weight of your body supported beneath you. Become aware of the room around you, the air on your skin, the sounds in the distance, the presence of the physical world returning with ease. Wiggle your fingers slightly, your toes. Let small movements awaken your body. Take one more slow, nourishing breath, and as you exhale, allow the last traces of tension melt away. And when you feel ready, with no rush, gently begin to open your eyes, inviting the light back in. Slowly waiting for everybody to come back. Okay, so I hope you could have a nice experience. And before we conclude, I want to give you a little bit of space so you can also write down a little bit of thoughts you may have, or a little bit of the feelings you may have felt during this meditation. And so for that, we're going to give you a little bit more of reflection time, which will be 12 minutes. And during the time, if you have a piece of paper, and if you don't, you can also type it in your notes. I would like to ask you to write down the answer to these two questions, which are, first one is, what do you think your child self would tell you if they could see you for a few minutes? And if you could meet your child self, what is that you would like to tell them in a few sentences? So, yeah, make sure that maybe think about the feeling that you felt during the meditation and try to summarize it in a few sentences. Yes, so I'll ask Robert if he can put a little bit music and we will have 12 minutes for that. Yes.
Hallo.
heard there was a secret chord.
Okay. That was the conclusion for the reflection time, but no worries if you need more time. Feel free to continue after the call or whenever you find some free time by yourself. And yeah, once again, I really want to thank you for coming, and I really hope that you could enjoy this activity that was also new for us to make. And yeah, make sure to give us a feedback as well so we know what we could do better next time in case. And yes, to conclude the webinar, I would like to call once again Araceli David and the small child to give the ending prayer.
Please join me in prayer.
Please,
She will pray.
Oh.
Okay, so please join me in prayer. I'll pray in Spanish. So yeah, connect with the heart. Amados Padres Celestiales, Padres verdaderos de cielo, tierra y la humanidad. Muy buenas tardes, padres. Queremos ofrecerte este momento de conexión, de reflexión y de crecimiento que estamos teniendo todos en este momento. Queremos agradecerte por esta oportunidad que tienen cada uno de estos hermanos y hermanas de seguir preparándose para su futura bendición y esta oportunidad que tenemos nosotros de compartir nuestro corazón. Queremos simplemente pedir que puedas guiarlos, que puedan continuar creciendo en este programa de CORE y queremos ofrecerte todo esto en el nombre de todas las aquí presentes y gratitud y asistencia a los padres verdaderos. En mi nombre es Melgarejo Girano, familia bendecida y central. Adiós.
Ju.
Adieu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, small
Thank you,
baby.
everybody.
Yes, thank you for
Mm.
coming, and I wish
Yeah.
you a nice weekend. And see you next time.
See you next
See you
time.
next
Thank
time.
you.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.